When we wonder that there are legal implications to some of these issues, perhaps the Commission is aware. A lot of agitations across the country. At the National Assembly yesterday, we understand that some senators brought up this issue about the vacant seats. Is the Commission too concerned about this situation? And have you consulted widely with the stakeholders, just like you said earlier, when these elections were postponed?
Well, certainly everybody will be concerned. Commission is concerned because it is our constitutional responsibility to fill all existing vacancies in the legislative houses. So yes, we are concerned. But of greater concern to us is the exposure, the danger in proceeding when the conditions are not ripe for proceeding with those elections. We must not lose sight of the fact that these are court-ordered elections. We decided to comply. We don't have a choice in the matter. We complied with the tribunal and court decisions by going to conduct these elections. But either we're physically prevented and our proceeding will have led to a breakdown in law and order, or we succeeded in getting to the field, but somewhere along the line, the process was disrupted. So yes, we are concerned, and every right-thinking Nigerian should be concerned that we cannot conduct peaceful elections to their conclusion without them being disrupted by certain people.
Okay, interesting. Now, let's now move into the issue of the guidelines that the Commission released. Just yesterday, the Commission said that those guidelines have been standardized and it will be part a supplementary guidelines that goes into INEC rules, which, of course, the Electoral Act permits and authorizes the Commission to make up some of these guidelines for the conduct of elections. Now, some of these rules, what do they amount to? If you just put us through some of these 5 lines that the Commission released yesterday, what do they really mean, and what should Nigerians be looking forward to?
Well, after every election, after every electoral activity, we conduct a post-mortem, look at those things that we did correctly, we did well, that were well received. We also look at those things that were not so well received. We consider the reports of observers, both international and domestic. And one recurring decimal in most of these reports is that, look, it's a lot more convenient for the electorate to vote, to get accreditation and do the voting simultaneously. It was disruptive of their days to have them accredit, go back home or stay for a couple of hours or a few hours and then come back to vote. And our experience showed that a lot of people who did the accreditation did not eventually come back to vote. So this was a bit disturbing to us, and based on our studies, we decided to conduct a pilot of this, and that's what we did in Southern Nigeria to conclude the governorship election of December last year. And also we experimented with this. We piloted this in subsequent elections. We found that it worked quite well. We should not lose sight of the fact that there were certain challenges why the reason there was certain mischief we're trying to avoid by doing accreditation and voting separately. But with the advent of technology or increased technology in the process, with the smart card readers, with the permanent voters cards, it was no longer possible for people to migrate from one polling station to another to vote, as was the case in the past. So if you have 200 cards, which is not possible under this dispensation, you cannot utilize all those cards in elections, even if you were to go ahead and do simultaneous accreditation and voting. So we look at the convenience of stakeholders, the reports of the stakeholders. We look at the convenience of the voters. We're a service delivery organization. Our essence is to ensure that people come to vote and make it as convenient as possible. So I think this is what Nigerians have been asking for, and this is what they have gotten.
Let me get the thoughts of one of those who most of the times we meet on the field, an election observer, Mr. Abiodun Ajijola. Let's get what they are thinking in that part of the divide. They always stand on the sideline to look at how the process is, and they always bring out their reports. Mr. Ajijola, with what we have seen INEC come out with, I remember that we were together in Bayelsa State. You were not there in Rivers State, but I know you were there also in Kogi State and in the FCT. With these new guidelines that have been standardized by INEC, is it a welcome idea from the community of election observers?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I think, yes, it is a very welcome development. As you know, and as Barrister Olowale has said, it was test run in the Southern Nigeria election. But I think after implementing it in some of the reruns as well and the FCT, I think it is good that INEC has decided to standardize it and make it part of its guidelines officially. It has a great effect, as also has been said in the Southern Nigeria elections. It allowed us, or it allowed elections to be concluded earlier in the day, which prevented collation going on overnight. And as you know, the southern Nigeria was very, the terrain was difficult and there was a lot of security issues then. So it helps to, conclude activities earlier in the day. And again, if you look at, in terms of voter participation, when you look at the 2015 general elections, the margin of victory between the APC and the PDP was 2,571,759, which is not so significant as, in previous elections. But look at the number of people that did not return to vote. We had 2,222,254 people across the nation, if you aggregate every state combined, that did not return to vote, almost equal to the number of the margin between the winner and the runner-up. So this number of people that did not return to vote, they did not do that because of this split between accreditation and voting. And that's about 7% of the total votes cast. Now, if that 2.2 million